Hi everybody, this is Brian Levenson for Brian's Message of the Day. I've done this before, but all summer long we're going to do Mental Mondays. And I'm going to provide just little tips, ideas, concepts that I usually share with my clients and the teams I work with. And I'm going to pass that along to you. And you can check out all of these as well on Levenson.com. So today we're going to talk about gratitude. And what I love about gratitude is that the word attitude is actually in the word gratitude. And so I want to start by just providing some research that I've found on gratitude and the value of gratitude. So number one, it's been shown to increase your empathy, your understanding of other people. A really valuable tool when you think about yourself as a performer or even just your general happiness. Number two, it's been shown that people with gratitude are more likely to see their doctor and go for regular checkups and obviously take care of themselves from a physical standpoint, which leads to number three, people that are more grateful are more likely to exercise, keep themselves in better physical condition. They also sleep better. So there's a link between gratitude and sleep, and the more research that comes out, the more value sleep has shown, which I know I've shown in my message of the day at times. Lastly, it's been shown to increase athletes' self-esteem. When I work with athletes, I often hear them talk about their own self-beliefs, and when that self-esteem gets rocked or their self-beliefs get rocked, it can often decrease their ability to perform. So the fact that gratitude is linked to self-esteem, especially amongst athletes, is a huge plus. So one of my favorite things about gratitude is that you can't actually be stressed and grateful at the same time. Think about that. You can't actually be grateful and stressed at the same time. One of the best examples I have of that is my Aunt Wendy. So my Aunt Wendy, every Thanksgiving, hosts about 50 people in her house. And she squishes us all in, and we all go over there, and there's usually 4 and 5-year-olds, my cousins, my nieces, my nephews, and they're running around the house, and they're really tearing up the house. And my Aunt Wendy just never freaks out. She's always relaxed. And every Thanksgiving, she goes to the front of the room and she just gives toasts about what she's grateful for. So she might comment on somebody's health. She might comment on someone graduating from high school or someone who may have had a baby or got married this year. So she always takes the time to remark on what she's grateful for and what she's thankful for. And that whole day, you never will see Aunt Wendy stress out or freak out if something's not right or something's not perfect. So now that I've given you some research and some real life examples of how gratitude can help you, I want to give you some action items that you can actually use and put into practice in your life. So number one, write a letter to someone that you care about and that you're grateful to have in your life. Take the time. You can even handwrite it. It's going to be more powerful that way. It doesn't have to be too long. It can be a paragraph, 2 paragraphs. But really think about what you're grateful for from them. And then you're going to take the next step of actually picking up the phone and calling that person and reading them that letter. There's been really cool research on this idea of not just writing it, but actually expressing it to the person and how that increases not only your happiness, but their happiness. Because you're actually expressing the gratitude, not just to the person, but also you're feeling it yourself. So take the time, write a letter, and then call the person. They'll appreciate it, and so will you. Number two, the Blue Angels are someone that I study because I think they're fascinating. If you don't know who the Blue Angels are, they are Navy pilots who put on shows all across the country. They fly these planes going hundreds of miles an hour, interlocked, interwoven with each other in such unison. So the Blue Angels are really mentally disciplined. And they do something that's very cool. After every run that they have, they come back and they meet in a conference room and they debrief everything that went wrong in that run. So they're very tough. They're their own harshest critics. So they really break themselves down and they'll say, you know what? I walked to the plane a little heavy or a little slow, or I needed to push a little bit to the left, an inch or a centimeter to the left. So they're very difficult on themselves. But they always end by saying, glad to be here. And glad to be here is a phrase that I've then took and used with the teams that I've worked with and the athletes that I've worked with and the clients that I have to remind them, hey, I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing. I'm choosing to be doing this. And always reminding ourselves that we're glad to be here. We're glad to be right where we are. The last thing is really simple. It's a really simple action item. Asking yourself, what are you grateful for? In the morning, when you wake up in the morning, you roll out of bed. One thing. What am I grateful for? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's having a job. Maybe it's a roof over your head. Maybe it's food. Pick something simple, but think about what you're grateful for and prime yourself for the rest of the day. And then on the other end of that is at dinner time. You can go around the room if you're part of a family and you have dinner together and just say one thing that you're grateful for at dinner. We all have something to be grateful for. It doesn't matter if we're rich or poor, successful or starting out. We all have something to be grateful for. Find that. It'll decrease the stress and increase your ability to perform. So today we talked about the science of gratitude. I gave you some examples of what research has shown to increase and decrease as a result of gratitude. We talked about you can't be grateful and stressed at the same time. And then I've given you some action items that you can do to actually increase the gratitude in your life. Thanks for joining me for this Mental Monday. And remember, there are no good days or bad days, only moments. Now it's up to you to take the action to go win the moment.